Listen carefully. Your morning is not just the beginning of your day, it's the foundation of your mind. If you win your morning, you win your life. Stoics believed that the first moments after you wake up decide your strength, your clarity, and your control. So here are 10 simple things you must do every morning if you want to master your mind. First, wake up with intention. Don't roll out of bed like life is forcing you. Open your eyes and remind yourself, I choose to show up today. This simple thought puts you back in control. Waking up with intention means you don't let the day drag you like a passenger. You choose to be the driver from the very first moment your eyes open. Most people wake up reacting. They wake up because an alarm forces them, because work forces them, because life forces them. But a Stoic understands that the moment of waking is the first test of the mind. It is the first chance to practice control, clarity, and self-command. When you open your eyes, remind yourself that today is not happening to you. Today is happening with you, and you have a role in shaping it. This simple mindset shift changes the entire direction of your day. Instead of rushing, panicking, or dragging yourself forward, you begin with purpose. You begin with awareness. You begin with the truth that your life is a choice, not an accident. To wake up with intention means you don't jump immediately into noise, thoughts, or distractions. You pause, you breathe, you remind yourself that you are not waking up to continue yesterday's stress. You are waking up to use today as a new chance to grow stronger, calmer, wiser. A Stoic morning is not about perfection, it is about presence. When you open your eyes and consciously set your mind, you stop your thoughts from running wild. You prevent your worries from taking control. You create a mental space where you lead, not follow. Intention is the difference between starting your day as a warrior or starting it as a victim. It is the difference between saying, I have to get up, and I choose to rise. That choice shapes your confidence, your discipline, and your emotional strength. When you wake with intention, you also stop negotiating with your comfort. Many mornings, the mind whispers excuses: stay in bed, delay your start, avoid the weight of responsibility. But intention cuts through those excuses. Intention tells your body what to do, not the other way around. It teaches you that discipline begins before your feet touch the floor. A Stoic knows that the real battle is not outside, it's inside. The decision to rise with purpose trains your mind to take charge instead of surrendering to laziness or fear. And with time, this habit becomes a quiet power inside you. You begin to trust yourself more. You begin to act before motivation arrives. You begin to lead your life instead of drifting through it. Waking up with intention also helps you understand that each day is a gift that many never receive. It reminds you that time is not guaranteed. Marcus Aurelius used to reflect upon the possibility that he might not wake the next day, and this thought made him value each morning more deeply. When you wake with intention, you acknowledge that this day is precious, and because it is precious, you will not waste it on meaningless stress or autopilot living. You will use it to become better in some way, no matter how small. And that mindset alone gives your day meaning. It gives your actions weight. It gives your life direction. When you rise with intention, you also set the emotional tone for the day. You tell your mind how to think before the world tries to tell it for you. If your first thought is calm, you carry calmness. If your first thought is strength, you carry strength. If your first thought is purpose, you carry purpose. Your morning becomes a message to yourself. This is who I choose to be today. And that self-message builds confidence, reduces anxiety, and creates inner control. A day started with intention is not perfect, but it is powerful. It gives you clarity in moments of stress, patience in moments of chaos, and direction in moments of doubt. Every morning becomes an opportunity to reconnect with your values, your goals, and your path. Sitting in silence for 1 minute may sound simple, but in a world filled with noise, it is one of the strongest ways to reclaim your mind. The moment you wake up, your mind is pulled in many directions. Thoughts rush in, worries show up, and the pressure of the day starts to build before you even stand. This single minute of silence is your chance to pause all of that. It is a moment where nothing is required from you. No decisions, no movement, no expectations. Just breath, stillness, and presence. In this silence, you tell your mind that you are the one in control, not your fears, not your schedule, not your thoughts. Silence becomes the first act of strength in your day. When you sit in silence, your breath slows, and your thoughts begin to settle. Instead of being pushed by your emotions, you begin to observe them. Instead of reacting, you start to see things clearly. A Stoic understands that clarity is power, but clarity never comes from rushing. Clarity comes from stillness. Your mind, like muddy water, becomes clear only when left to stand. That 1 minute lets your inner world settle. It brings your attention back from yesterday's problems and tomorrow's worries into this very moment. And this moment is the only place where peace exists. Silence teaches you that your mind does not need constant stimulation. It needs space to breathe. This minute of silence is also a way to reset your nervous system before the day pulls you into stress. Most people wake up and instantly grab their phones. They jump into messages, news, noise, and problems long before they are mentally prepared. But when you start with silence, you create a strong mental shield. You prepare your mind for whatever comes next. You become calm before the world has a chance to make you anxious. This calmness is not weakness. It is a quiet strength. It gives you power to respond instead of react. It gives you the ability to choose your emotions instead of letting emotions choose you. Silence is the foundation of emotional discipline. As you sit in silence, you begin to hear your own thoughts more clearly. You notice what you're worried about, what you're excited for, what you fear, and what you want to avoid. This awareness is important because a Stoic understands that self-awareness is the first step towards self-mastery. If you don't know what is happening inside you, you cannot control it. Silence shows you your inner weather. It shows you the storm before it hits. It shows you the sunlight behind the clouds. This awareness helps you carry yourself through the day with steadiness. Because when you understand your mind, you are not easily shaken by life's challenges. Sitting in silence also trains patience. Humans today are constantly rushing, constantly craving something new, constantly needing stimulation. But the Stoics believe that mastering oneself requires the ability to sit with stillness, to be comfortable with quiet, to calm the restlessness inside. That 1 minute of silence is like a daily workout for your patience. It teaches your mind to slow down. It teaches you to resist the urge to rush. It trains you to be present, and presence becomes a form of strength that carries you through difficult moments. This silence also gives you a chance to connect with a deeper part of yourself, a part that is not affected by noise or chaos. When everything outside is loud, silence becomes your inner refuge. It becomes the place you return to whenever life becomes overwhelming, and the more you practice silence in the morning, the easier it becomes to find that inner calm during stressful situations throughout the day. This 1 minute trains your mind to find peace quickly, even in the middle of challenges. In this minute, you learn that you don't need to rush into your day. You don't need to react immediately. You don't need to let your thoughts run wild. You learn that you can choose to pause, choose to breathe, choose to regain control before moving forward. Over time, this daily practice becomes a powerful reminder that your mind belongs to you, and silence is one of the strongest ways to reclaim it. Practicing a simple gratitude sentence every morning is one of the easiest ways to shift your mindset, yet many people overlook it because it seems too small to matter. But that single sentence has the power to change how you see your entire day. When you wake up and immediately think about what is missing, what is stressful, or what could go wrong, you place your mind in a state of scarcity. You start the day already feeling behind. Gratitude flips that completely. Gratitude reminds you that even if life is not perfect, even if you have challenges, you still have blessings you often forget to notice. A Stoic understands that the mind becomes stronger when it learns to focus on what is within reach, not what is missing, and gratitude is the quickest way to bring your attention back to what you already have. A simple gratitude sentence does not need to be dramatic or poetic. It can be as small as, "I'm grateful I woke up," or "I'm grateful for this breath," or "I'm grateful for a chance to try again today." You don't need to fake happiness or pretend everything is perfect. Gratitude is not about ignoring your problems. It is about remembering that you are more than your problems. It is a way of reminding your mind that life is still giving you something, even on difficult days. Seneca once wrote that we should not complain about what is missing when we already have so much, and this single sentence every morning helps you practice that wisdom. It is like placing a guiding light in your mind before the darkness of negative thoughts tries to grow. When you repeat that one gratitude sentence every morning, you train your mind to look for the good automatically. Over time, your thoughts start to shift. You become less reactive, less irritated, less focused on what annoys you. You begin to notice that small things you once ignored actually support your life every day. The air you breathe, the roof above your head, the people you care about, even the obstacles that teach you lessons. Gratitude makes your mind more resilient because it strengthens your ability to see beyond temporary discomfort. A grateful mind is harder to shake, harder to break, and harder to control from the outside. This is why Stoics valued gratitude. They understood that a mind trained to appreciate is a mind that suffers less. Gratitude also puts your day into perspective. When you start your morning by acknowledging something good in your life, you create a mental foundation that makes you less sensitive to small frustrations. People may be rude, situations may be stressful, plans may fail, but your mind doesn't collapse easily because it already began the day balanced. This one sentence becomes a mental anchor. It keeps you from drifting into negativity. It keeps you grounded when your emotions want to run wild. It keeps you steady when life tries to shake you. Gratitude is not just a feeling, it is a form of mental armor. Another powerful effect of gratitude is how it reduces anger and jealousy. When you remind yourself every morning of what you have, you stop obsessing over what others possess. You stop comparing your life to someone else's. You stop feeling like you are lacking something. Instead, you begin to see that you have your own path, your own gifts, your own time. Gratitude frees you from the mental trap of comparison, which is one of the biggest sources of unhappiness in the modern world. A Stoic mind does not waste energy resenting others. It focuses on what it can control and appreciates what is real. This single gratitude sentence every morning also helps you become more aware of the present moment. Most people live emotionally in the past or mentally in the future. Gratitude pulls you back into the now. It reminds you that today is happening right in front of you, and that there is something about this moment worth acknowledging. This awareness brings calmness. It brings clarity. It brings peace. When you start your day with gratitude, you prepare your mind to face whatever comes next with strength and perspective, and over time, this ritual becomes a quiet but powerful force shaping your life from the inside out. Setting one clear priority for the day is one of the most powerful ways to take control of your mind. Yet most people skip it because they believe they can handle everything at once. But trying to do everything leads to doing nothing with true focus. The human mind is not built to chase 10 different goals in 10 different directions. Chaos comes from a scattered mind, and clarity comes from a focused one. When you choose one priority each morning, you give your mind a target. You give your energy a direction. You give your day a purpose. A Stoic understands that control begins with attention, and attention becomes stronger when it is not divided. This one priority is not just a task. It is the thing that matters most for your growth, your discipline, or your responsibilities. It could be something small or something big. What matters is that you decide it consciously. When you wake up and set that intention, you reduce anxiety, because your mind stops guessing what it should be doing. Many people feel overwhelmed not because their lives are too hard, but because their minds are too unfocused. They jump from one thing to another, reacting to whatever appears instead of acting with purpose. One clear priority cuts through this noise. It tells your mind, this is where we are going today, and that direction makes everything feel lighter. Setting one priority also teaches you to value progress over perfection. If you accomplish just that one important thing, your day becomes meaningful. You stop judging yourself based on how many tasks you checked off, and start measuring your day by what actually mattered. This brings confidence. It brings peace. It brings the feeling that you are moving forward, even if the steps are small. Stoics believe that what matters is not how much you do, but how intentionally you do it. One focus each day helps you live by that idea. It trains you to give your full presence to a single action, rather than dividing your attention so much that nothing gets done well. Choosing one priority also protects you from distractions. When you know your main goal for the day, it becomes easier to say no to things that don't align with it. Distractions lose their grip because your mind has already chosen what deserves your energy. You are less likely to waste time on things that don't matter because you can clearly see the difference between what is important and what is noise. This improves discipline without forcing yourself into rigid routines. Discipline becomes natural because your mind understands what it is supposed to protect. One priority also reduces the emotional pressure of the day. Instead of feeling like you should achieve everything, you focus on the essential. This reduces stress and increases mental stability. Many people wake up feeling overwhelmed because they carry yesterday's unfinished tasks and tomorrow's worries all at once. But when you choose one priority, you simplify your mental load. You create space for calmness. You give your mind permission to concentrate rather than panic, and this calm concentration leads to better decisions, clearer thinking, and more productive action. Setting one clear priority helps you live in alignment with your values. Each day becomes an opportunity to move closer to the person you want to be. If your priority is health, you take steps toward strength. If your priority is learning, you develop your mind. If your priority is discipline, you train your willpower. Bit by bit, these focused days shape your character. They build habits, confidence, and stability. Stoicism teaches that character is built through consistent action, and choosing one daily priority ensures that your actions are not random, but guided by intention. This morning practice also helps you stay grounded when life becomes unpredictable. Even if the rest of your day becomes messy, you know what truly mattered and you work toward it. It gives you a sense of control in a world where so much is uncontrollable. It reminds you that progress is always possible, no matter the circumstances. This one priority becomes your anchor, your direction, and your quiet daily victory. Mentally preparing for challenges each morning is a powerful Stoic practice because it teaches your mind to expect difficulty instead of being shocked by it. Most people begin their day hoping everything will go smoothly, and the moment something goes wrong, they fall apart. A small inconvenience ruins their mood, a rude comment ruins their confidence. One unexpected problem ruins their entire day. But a Stoic understands that life does not promise comfort. Life promises reality, and reality always includes obstacles. When you mentally prepare for challenges, you remove their surprise. You take away their emotional sting. You tell your mind, I know difficulties are coming, and I am ready for them. This simple shift gives you strength before the day even starts. This practice doesn't mean you become negative or expect the worst. It means you become mentally armed. You imagine the possible frustrations you may face: traffic, delays, misunderstandings, extra work, tiredness, criticism, and you rehearse your response. You picture yourself staying calm instead of reacting, patient instead of angry, steady instead of shaken. The Stoics called this premeditation of adversity, and it is one of the greatest tools for building emotional resilience. When you prepare your mind for difficulty, challenges lose their power to surprise you. They become events, not emotional triggers. You meet them with stability instead of chaos. This mental preparation also helps you accept that discomfort is a normal part of life. Many people suffer more from resisting discomfort than from the discomfort itself. They get upset because they expected everything to be easy. But when you start your morning by reminding yourself that today will test you in some way, you reduce disappointment. You remove the illusion that life should be smooth. You train your mind to stay balanced, even when things are not perfect. This mindset builds endurance. It makes you stronger, calmer, and more stable because you stop running from challenges and start facing them with awareness. Another benefit of preparing for challenges is that it creates emotional distance between you and the events of the day. Instead of taking things personally, you see them as part of life. If someone is rude, you don't assume it is an attack on you. You see it as a human being acting from their own struggles. If something takes longer than expected, you don't panic. You understand delays happen. If plans change, you don't lose control, you adapt. This emotional distance is not coldness, it is wisdom. It keeps your peace safe. It helps you stay grounded. It makes you harder to disturb because you already practiced calmness in your mind before reality arrived. Mentally preparing for challenges is also a way of strengthening your character. Each morning, you remind yourself that you will face moments that require patience, discipline, courage, or self-control. By expecting those moments, you are more likely to meet them with the best version of yourself. You start seeing obstacles as opportunities to practice your values. A traffic jam becomes a chance to practice patience. A disagreement becomes a chance to practice calmness. A mistake becomes a chance to practice humility. A busy day becomes a chance to practice discipline. Challenges stop being enemies, they become teachers. This practice also reduces fear. When you imagine challenges before they come, your mind becomes less scared of them. You stop being overwhelmed by what ifs. Instead of fearing adversity, you become familiar with it. You see yourself handling it, managing it, rising above it. This builds confidence. You begin trusting your ability to face life, no matter what it brings. The Stoics believed that most suffering comes from fear of the unknown. But when you mentally walk through the challenges ahead, the unknown becomes known. You are no longer fighting shadows. You are facing reality with preparation. Preparing for challenges each morning gives you a calm, steady mindset that is not easily shaken. It teaches you that the world does not decide your attitude, you do. When you begin your day with this practice, you walk into life with a strong mind, a clear heart, and a stable spirit. You stop being a victim of circumstances and start becoming the master of your reactions. Moving your body in the morning, even for just a few minutes, is one of the simplest and most powerful ways to sharpen your mind and awaken your inner strength. The mind and body are not separate, they influence each other constantly. When your body is stiff, heavy, or sluggish, your mind becomes slow, unfocused, and emotionally sensitive. But when you move, stretching, walking, breathing deeply, you send a message to your brain that it is time to wake up, time to rise, time to take control. The Stoics understood that physical movement is not just for health, it is a form of mental preparation. It clears the fog from your thoughts and gives you a sense of direction and vitality before the day challenges you. You don't need a full workout or a long routine. Even small movements have a big impact. A few stretches, a short walk, a minute of deep breathing, or a few push-ups can shift your entire mental state. Movement increases blood flow, wakes up your nervous system, and strengthens your ability to focus. It also reduces tension that builds up overnight. When you release that physical tension, you release mental tension too. Your thoughts become sharper. Your emotions become steadier. Your mind becomes more alert. Many people underestimate how deeply the body affects the mind. If your body is asleep, your thoughts will be dull, your mood will be heavy, and your motivation will be weak. But when the body rises, the mind rises with it. Movement also helps you break the cycle of morning laziness. When you first wake up, your mind often whispers excuses, stay in bed, move later, don't push yourself. But the moment you start moving, those excuses lose their power. Action destroys hesitation. This is why Stoics believed in doing something physical early in the day. It trains your willpower. You learn to act before your mind talks you out of it. You learn that discipline comes from doing, not thinking. Once you take the first step, the rest becomes easier. You start the day with a small victory, and that victory sets the tone for everything that follows. Morning movement also reduces stress before it begins. When you activate your body, you release built-up cortisol and calm your mind. You loosen the tightness in your muscles that often creates anxiety. You regulate your breathing, which stabilizes your emotions. A calm body produces a calm mind. This is why athletes, soldiers, and thinkers all understand the power of morning rituals. Physical readiness leads to mental readiness. The Stoics believed in preparing for the day with a stable mind, and nothing stabilizes the mind like waking up the body with intention. Another important benefit of morning movement is how it teaches you to value your health. When you move your body every morning, you send a message to yourself that your well-being matters. You stop taking your body for granted. You stop ignoring the signals it gives you. You become more aware of your posture, your breath, your energy, and your physical state. This awareness carries into the rest of your day. You notice when you are tense, when you are stressed, when you need to pause or breathe. You build a stronger connection between your physical and mental selves, and that connection is essential for long-term strength and stability. Even more importantly, morning movement builds momentum. Small actions create energy, and that energy pushes you through the rest of your day. When you start your morning with movement, you feel more awake and more capable. You become less reactive and more proactive. Your mind feels more in control because your body is alive and active. This momentum makes it easier to stay disciplined, to stay focused, and to make better decisions. Movement becomes the spark that lights your inner fire each morning. Morning movement is not about intensity. It is about awakening. It is about reminding yourself that you are alive, capable, and in control. Whether you stretch, walk, breathe, or exercise, you are doing something important. You are telling your mind that today will not be lived in weakness or hesitation. Today will be lived with strength, clarity, and purpose. Movement becomes your first act of discipline, your first act of self-respect, and your first step toward mastering your mind for the rest of the day. Avoiding your phone in the first minutes of your morning is one of the most important steps to protect your mind. Yet it is one of the hardest habits to break. The moment you wake up, your mind is soft, open, and unprotected. It is like freshly tilled soil. Whatever falls into it first takes root. If the first things you consume are notifications, messages, problems, news, and noise, your mind becomes reactive before it has even woken fully. You begin the day responding, not leading. You start your morning already feeling behind, already stressed, already pulled into the world's demands. But when you choose to avoid your phone at the start of your day, you choose to guard your mental space. You choose clarity over chaos. You choose intention over reaction. The phone is a doorway to other people's emotions, expectations, and problems. It floods your mind with information that you are not mentally ready to handle. A Stoic morning is about strengthening your inner world before letting the outer world enter. When you avoid your phone, you give yourself a chance to own your thoughts, instead of letting your mind be shaped by external noise. Your brain wakes up gradually, peacefully, in a natural rhythm. You gain a moment of stillness before your attention is hijacked by things that don't truly matter. This quiet space becomes the foundation for a controlled, disciplined day. One of the biggest dangers of checking your phone, first thing, is the immediate comparison it creates. You scroll and suddenly you are comparing your morning, your achievements, your body, your lifestyle, your progress with someone else's highlight reel. Before you even stand up, you feel behind. You feel inadequate. You feel rushed. A Stoic understands that inner peace is destroyed when your attention is pulled outward instead of inward. By avoiding your phone, you break the cycle of instant comparison. You allow yourself to begin your day with your own goals, your own values, and your own direction, not the illusions or opinions of others. Avoiding your phone also reduces anxiety. The moment you see messages or notifications, your mind starts planning, worrying, or reacting. Someone needs something. Something requires a reply. Something triggers you emotionally. This stress enters your mind before your brain is even fully awake. But when you delay using your phone, you slow down the speed at which stress enters your life. You create a mental buffer between yourself and the world. This buffer is not laziness, it is strength. It is the ability to choose what matters instead of reacting blindly. It helps you build resilience and emotional discipline, because you are not allowing the world to set your mood for you. Another powerful reason to avoid your phone in the morning is that it protects your attention span. Phones train your brain to seek instant stimulation, fast rewards, quick entertainment. But a disciplined mind requires the ability to stay focused. When you avoid your phone for the first minutes of your day, you strengthen your ability to be present. You teach your mind patience. You give yourself room to think, breathe, and reflect. You begin the day with clarity instead of scattered thoughts. This clarity carries into your tasks, your work, and your decisions throughout the day. Avoiding your phone also helps you stay connected with your physical environment. You notice your breath, the light in your room, the feeling of waking up, the thoughts that naturally arise. You build a relationship with your inner world instead of drowning it in external noise. This awareness is a key part of Stoic practice. It reminds you that peace comes from within, not from the device in your hand. It helps you start your day grounded in reality, instead of in a digital world that pulls your attention in 100 directions. This simple morning choice teaches you self-control. It trains your discipline in a very real way, because you resist the strongest modern temptation. Every time you delay checking your phone, you strengthen your willpower. You remind your mind that you are the master, not the phone. You build a habit that protects your focus, your energy, and your emotional balance. And with each passing day, this habit becomes easier, and the benefits become stronger. Avoiding your phone in the morning is not a small thing. It is a powerful declaration that your mind belongs to you, not to the endless stream of notifications trying to control it. Repeating a Stoic reminder each morning is like giving your mind a compass before you start walking through the day. The world is full of distractions, emotions, and unexpected situations that can easily pull you off balance. But a simple reminder, spoken clearly and intentionally, anchors you. It tells your mind what truly matters, what you stand for, and how you choose to face the challenges ahead. When you begin your morning with a Stoic thought, you give yourself direction before life throws you into movement. You remind yourself that your thoughts are yours, your reactions are yours, and your power is yours. A Stoic reminder is not just philosophy, it is a daily reinforcement of mental strength. This reminder can be as simple as, I control how I respond, or, today, I will stay calm, or, focus on what I can control. These words shape the mindset you carry into the day. Instead of letting your emotions dictate your actions, you choose the attitude with which you will approach everything. This is how Stoics stayed stable, even in chaotic times. They trained their minds every single morning. The reminder becomes a mental shield. When frustration, anger, or impatience tries to pull you in, your mind recalls your morning intention. You become harder to shake, harder to provoke, and harder to manipulate because you have already chosen your state of mind. Repeating a Stoic reminder also helps you build identity. It connects you to the person you want to be. If you remind yourself, I will act with patience today, you slowly start becoming a patient person. If you remind yourself, I will not be controlled by external events, your inner world becomes stronger and more grounded. Identity is built through repetition, and each morning reminder strengthens your character. You stop reacting automatically and start responding consciously. You start living with intention instead of drifting through your day. These reminders slowly shape your behavior, and your behavior shapes your life. A morning reminder also creates discipline. When you repeat a Stoic principle each day, you reinforce a standard for yourself. It becomes a promise to your own mind. You might face irritation, noise, conflict, or disappointment, but because you started your morning with a principle, you hold yourself to it. You rise above situations that once made you emotional. You begin to see problems from a higher perspective. You stop letting small things disturb your peace. Discipline becomes easier because your mind has a clear guideline to follow. This practice also trains your emotional resilience. When you remind yourself that setbacks, annoyances, and hardships are normal parts of life, you stop overreacting to them. You stop expecting perfection. You accept the reality of challenges, and this acceptance makes you stronger. Stoics repeated reminders like, you cannot control what happens, only how you respond, so that when difficult moments came, they didn't collapse mentally. They were prepared. Their mind had already been conditioned to expect resistance. Your morning reminder serves the same purpose. It keeps you steady when life tests you. Another powerful benefit is that Stoic reminders reduce overthinking. When your mind has a guiding principle, you don't waste energy worrying about unnecessary things. You don't drown in what-ifs. You don't spiral into negativity. The reminder becomes a filter through which you see the day. If something is outside your control, you let it go. If something is within your control, you act. This clarity removes mental clutter. It keeps your thoughts organized and your emotions manageable. Instead of scattered thinking, you operate with calm purpose. Repeating a Stoic reminder also builds confidence. When you speak powerful words to yourself in the morning, you strengthen your inner voice. You remind yourself that you belong to your own mind, not to the chaos around you. Confidence grows when you consistently choose the attitude you want, instead of letting circumstances decide it for you. Over time, you feel more grounded, more certain, and more capable because you start each day with mental alignment. A morning reminder may be short and simple, but its effect is deeply transformative. It trains your mind to stay centered, grounded, and focused. It gives you direction, strength, and clarity. It prepares you for life's unpredictability and teaches you how to carry yourself with discipline and calmness, no matter what you face. Reflecting on the values you want to live by each morning is one of the most powerful ways to shape your character and guide your actions throughout the day. Most people go through life reacting to events, opinions, and pressures without stopping to consider who they truly want to be. They chase distractions, conform to others' expectations, and let circumstance dictate their behavior. But a Stoic understands that your values are your inner compass. They determine how you respond, what you prioritize, and how you carry yourself, even when life is unpredictable. Taking a moment each morning to reflect on your values is a way of consciously choosing your identity before the world begins to demand your attention. This reflection does not need to be complicated. You can ask yourself simple questions: who do I want to be today? Do I want to act with patience, honesty, courage, or discipline? Which of my values will guide my decisions, no matter what challenges arise? When you answer these questions consciously, you train your mind to focus on what truly matters. The day may bring distractions, frustrations, or temptations, but your values act as a filter. They give you a standard to measure your actions against. Each choice becomes easier because you already know the person you want to be. You are not reacting blindly, you are responding intentionally. Reflecting on your values also builds consistency in your life. When your actions are guided by a clear understanding of who you want to be, your behavior becomes predictable in a positive way. People notice reliability and integrity, and you notice self-respect. You stop compromising yourself for convenience or temporary comfort. Each day begins with a clear blueprint for living, and over time, this daily practice shapes your character. Your values are no longer abstract ideas, they become practical rules you live by. This is the essence of Stoicism, aligning thought and action with principles that strengthen the mind and soul. Another important effect of this practice is emotional stability. When you know your values and remind yourself of them each morning, you are less likely to be swept away by negative emotions. Anger, frustration, jealousy, and fear lose their grip because you view them through the lens of what matters. If patience is your value for the day, irritations are no longer triggers. They are opportunities to practice patience. If honesty is your guiding principle, situations that could tempt you to lie become chances to demonstrate integrity. Values turn life's challenges into exercises in self-mastery rather than sources of stress. Reflecting on your values in the morning also helps you avoid distractions and wasted energy. Modern life is full of noisy social media, endless messages, advertisements, and opinions that demand your attention. Without a clear connection to your own values, it is easy to get pulled in directions that do not serve you. But when you start the day thinking about who you want to be and what matters most, you naturally filter out what does not align with that vision. You conserve your energy for meaningful action. Your mind becomes sharper because it is focused on the things that truly count, not the things that merely compete for attention. This practice also deepens self-awareness. Taking time each morning to consider your values forces you to reflect on your strengths, weaknesses, and areas for improvement. You begin to notice patterns in your behavior and identify moments when you act in alignment with your principles versus moments when you drift away. This awareness is essential for growth because you cannot improve what you do not see clearly. The more consistently you reflect on your values, the more your actions align with your ideals, and the more you develop the discipline to choose wisely in every situation. Morning reflection on values also inspires purpose. Life often feels chaotic or meaningless when we react without thought. But when you ground yourself in values, every choice gains significance. You start to see challenges as meaningful opportunities to practice courage, patience, or discipline. You see interactions with others as opportunities to act with kindness, fairness, or honesty. Even small actions take on importance because they reflect the person you want to be. Your day transforms from a series of random events into a structured path guided by principles, and that transformation strengthens your mind and builds inner peace. By consistently reflecting on your values each morning, you train your mind to prioritize what truly matters, maintain focus amid distractions, and respond to life's challenges with integrity and purpose. Over time, this simple habit becomes a cornerstone of mental strength, emotional resilience, and personal mastery, shaping not only your day but the trajectory of your life. Starting your day slowly and deliberately is one of the most important practices for mastering your mind, yet most people rush out of bed and into chaos without realizing the cost. The moment you wake up sets the tone for everything that follows. If you begin your day in panic, hurry, or distraction, your mind carries that energy into every decision, conversation, and action. Stress builds, mistakes increase, and clarity disappears. A Stoic understands that calmness is strength, and starting slowly is a form of mental training. By beginning deliberately, you take control of your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions before the world begins to demand them. Moving slowly in the morning does not mean being lazy or unproductive. It means being intentional. It means taking time to breathe, to stretch, to reflect, and to prepare for the day. When you allow yourself these moments, you create mental space before you are bombarded by noise, messages, and obligations. You create clarity in your mind, which allows you to make better decisions later. Many people spend their entire mornings reacting to notifications, traffic, or other people's demands because they never take the time to set their own pace. Starting slowly ensures that your energy is directed by choice rather than by chaos. When you begin deliberately, you also reduce the mental fatigue that comes from rushing. Every hurried action in the morning, skipping breakfast, rushing through tasks, ignoring your routine, adds stress to your nervous system. That stress accumulates and influences your mood and behavior throughout the day. By moving slowly, you allow your body and mind to wake up naturally. You reduce tension, lower anxiety, and create a sense of control. This calm presence gives you more patience in conversations, more clarity in thinking, and more resilience in the face of challenges. Slow mornings are not wasted time. They are preparation for a day of strength and effectiveness. Deliberate mornings also allow you to align your actions with your intentions. When you rush, you often act without thinking, which leads to mistakes, wasted energy, and regret. When you move slowly, you notice what you are doing, how you are feeling, and what truly matters. You make choices instead of being pulled by habit or external pressures. This mindfulness is a key principle of Stoicism, conscious action over automatic reaction. A slow, deliberate start trains your mind to respond thoughtfully throughout the day, rather than react impulsively. Another benefit of starting your day slowly is emotional regulation. Many people begin their mornings with irritability, frustration, or impatience because they jump straight into stress. But when you allow yourself to wake gradually, to breathe, and to center your mind, you create emotional stability. You begin the day grounded in calmness instead of tension. This inner calm acts as a buffer against the inevitable challenges you will face. People may provoke you, tasks may pile up, or plans may change, but because your morning was deliberate, your mind remains steady. You are less likely to be shaken by minor disturbances, because you have already anchored yourself in composure. Starting slowly also strengthens discipline. It is easy to rush and let habits control you, but it takes conscious effort to slow down, to prioritize, and to act with purpose. Every morning that you commit to this practice, you build self-mastery. You train your mind to resist the pull of urgency, distraction, and impatience. Over time, this practice creates a mental habit of deliberate living, where actions are guided by intention rather than reaction. You become more efficient because you are focused, more resilient because you are prepared, and more centered because your mind is trained to start with clarity. Moving slowly in the morning also enhances focus. When your mind is calm and alert, you can concentrate on what matters most, instead of jumping between tasks or being pulled by distractions. You notice details that others miss, make smarter decisions, and act with purpose rather than impulse. This habit creates momentum for the rest of the day. Calmness breeds clarity, clarity breeds action, and action produces results. By starting deliberately, you set a pattern for your mind to follow, a pattern of control, focus, and presence that continues long after the morning ends. Reminding yourself daily that you control your reactions, not external events, is one of the most powerful Stoic practices for mastering your mind. Most people spend their lives reacting to everything around them: traffic, rude people, unexpected problems, delays, and disappointments. They let circumstances dictate their mood, their decisions, and even their self-worth. But the Stoics understood that external events are outside of our control, and the only thing we truly control is our own mind. When you internalize this principle each morning, you begin to reclaim your power. You stop giving away your mental energy to things that are not yours to command. You begin to realize that peace, strength, and clarity are determined from within, not from the chaos outside. Starting the day with this reminder shifts your perspective. It changes how you interpret challenges. When something goes wrong, instead of thinking, "Why is this happening to me?" you remind yourself that the event itself does not have power over you. What matters is your response. You have the ability to choose patience over anger, calmness over panic, and reason over impulse. This practice strengthens emotional resilience because it reinforces the idea that no matter what the world throws at you, your mind remains sovereign. You are not a passenger in life. You are the captain of your inner ship. When you practice controlling your reactions, you also reduce unnecessary stress. Much of human suffering comes not from events themselves, but from the way we respond to them. A traffic jam is just a traffic jam, a rude comment is just a rude comment, and a mistake at work is just a mistake. The suffering comes when we react emotionally, complain, or let frustration take over. By reminding yourself each morning that your reactions are yours to choose, you create a mental buffer. You begin the day with awareness, understanding that discomfort is inevitable, but unnecessary suffering is optional. This mindset trains your mind to remain calm, even when external events are chaotic or unpredictable. This daily practice also builds discipline and self-mastery. Choosing your reaction takes effort, especially when emotions are strong or events are challenging. Each morning, when you commit to this principle, you strengthen your ability to act intentionally rather than react automatically. Over time, this develops into a habit. You stop being controlled by impulses, habits, or other people's actions. You develop a mental muscle that allows you to pause, assess, and respond according to your values instead of circumstances. This self-control is a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy and a key to lasting mental strength. Reminding yourself that you control your reactions also fosters clarity. When your mind is no longer hijacked by emotions triggered by external events, you can think clearly and make better decisions. You can prioritize what truly matters, solve problems effectively, and act with purpose. External chaos no longer clouds your judgment. Instead, you approach each situation with a steady mind, evaluating facts, considering options, and acting with intention. This clarity is not just practical, it brings peace. You realize that your happiness and calmness do not depend on outside conditions but on your inner choice. Another profound effect of this practice is freedom. When you internalize that you control only your responses, you stop blaming others or circumstances for your unhappiness. You release resentment, frustration, and the desire to control what cannot be controlled. You stop being a prisoner of expectation, comparison, or disappointment. Instead, you gain a sense of inner sovereignty. Life may still present challenges, but you approach them with confidence because you know that your mental state is yours to protect. This freedom is a gift that few people recognize, yet it is available to anyone willing to commit to it consistently. This morning reminder also strengthens patience and tolerance. When you expect that difficulties will arise, but you know your reactions are under your control, you approach people and situations more calmly. You respond with understanding rather than irritation. You endure setbacks with composure rather than despair. You practice empathy instead of judgment. Each morning, by choosing to remember this principle, you reinforce the mindset that allows you to navigate life's ups and downs with grace, steadiness, and emotional intelligence. Over time, your mind becomes unshakable, anchored in the understanding that your reactions, and only your reactions, determine your peace, your power, and your mastery.